Hello, friends. This is Christopher davis-shannon, and this is Charlie, who's evidently itchy quite behind me. And I am happy today to be joined from all the way 2 miles away from my house, the amazing Emily Drinker. Emily, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm not too shabby.
And
It's good to
Charlie
see you.
isn't either. Charlie's hanging.
Yeah. yeah,
Thanks for having
he'll
me.
be back here the whole time doing what he does. So while Charlie's taking care of his fluff, would you mind just starting us off with a song?
Yes, absolutely. I would love to. So, I would love to play an original song for you all. This is a song that I wrote a long time ago when I was in my early 20s, and it's about the pain of dating and just like starting to figure yourself out and all that fun stuff. This is called One Arm Hug. We wake up early, 'cause you gotta go to work. I have to ride the subway home, clothed in yesterday's dirt. I feel self-conscious on the subway ride back as the wall eyes are on me and my kiss-stained neck. Did I stay true to myself? Did I demand respect? Did I expect a kiss goodbye? Oh yes, I guess I did. Instead I got a one-arm hug and a goodbye. See you later, kid. At this point in my life, I don't quite know what's wrong from right. At this point in my life, how can I be sure to preserve my pride? My pride. I wake up early, don't gotta go to work. I lie in bed a while, wondering what it's all worth. Do you know me? Do I even know myself? Will I get up and get out? Do I have the will to do whatever I want with dignity and respect? Will I accept a mystery reply? Well, no, don't think I will. We accept the love we think that we deserve, and I deserve more. At this point in my life, I don't quite know what's wrong from right. At this point in my life, how can I be sure to preserve my pride? My pride. Did I expect a kiss goodbye? Well, yes, I guess I did. Instead, I got a one arm hug. Instead, I got a one arm hug. Instead, I got a one arm hug and a goodbye. See you later, kid.
That was a lovely tune, Emily. And you're actually one of the few people I have seen in the past 8 months, which is
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. To a concert series that you have been putting on while the world has slowed down a bit, and that's the Every Cent concert series, which is obviously online as everything is now. And I love that you didn't just start live streaming out of the blue. You kind of had a plan, and you partnered with our friend Edmund to make this happen, and have been doing these in your backyard, which is really lovely. What gave you the inspiration to start hosting these things? Because although you're a player yourself, you've just been bringing everyone else in to make the music as well.
Yeah. Well, the inspiration was because I did start out early quarantine doing a lot of stuff kind of alone, but then my friend Edmund it was kind of his idea because he's always been sort of a champion of local artists anyway, and he had his
Absolutely.
own series. Like Edmund was a fan before he became a friend, and he was hosting stuff in person pre-COVID at like an apartment building, and he had his own series going.
Oh yeah, I did his concert
And you've
series
done that
as well.
before
It's
too.
so much
Yeah.
fun. I love that concert series.
Yeah, it's so nice. And he's just a local guy he plays music as a hobby, but he is really just like a super fan of a lot of local artists. And he's just so supportive and he wants to help out in any way that he can. So he's been helping me with some stuff. And we were just kind of, down and out, like how many live streams can you do at home alone? Or just wondering when things will be normal again and just
We've all been asking ourselves that exact question. How many
it's
live streams can
hard. And so when we kind of teamed up, the idea was, okay, well, and also because live streaming alone does feel quite awkward, and just to be putting the focus on
it
yourself,
is?
and you're like, well, I don't, why does anyone care what I'm saying? And so sort of
Right.
getting
And you're
over that.
performing to an audience of nobody when you're used to being on
Yeah.
stage is such an awkward experience.
Yeah. Like the song ends and you're like clapping behind your back. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that was
I
great.
imagine it's like Shakespearean actors going into being on a soap opera. It must feel kind of like that.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. So I did try a little bit of that, but then it was so much nicer once I had a plan, like you were saying, like there's a mission behind this series, which is to support artists, kind of take some of the spotlight off of me. I play a little bit in the beginning, but it's really just to showcase other artists that I love in our community. And another big element of the series is actually, I don't want to make it all about this, but paying them, because there's been so many series that I've done throughout quarantine and throughout COVID that have been like, oh, appear on my thing, or like who knows what it is, and you're just like, but I know artists need support, need
Especially
cash.
now.
And
Yeah.
so Edmund is kind of the one who's good at figuring that stuff out, and organizing fundraising and that sort of thing. And then I'm more on the artist end, and I get to perform and interview the artist during the show, and maybe play a song with them, which is what we got to do, which was really cool when you came on
Yeah.
the show, which doesn't always happen. Like that was such a happy um, occasion, because I was like, oh, we have to do a song together because we both
We can't both own ukuleles and not play a song together.
yeah,
That's just
like against the law. So
yeah.
against the ukulele law. But yeah, it's been really fun because it's given me a chance to like even be exposed to artists I didn't know. Because Edmund we kind of take turns choosing who's on the show, and so
And he has taste. So
he has,
you know always getting
yeah,
something right at Edmund's
we
table.
actually know a lot of the same folks. Like we've chosen the same people a few times where it's like, oh, I was going to pick that person. Great. Or there's been people that I didn't know at all. And so I've gotten to know them. And it feels really good as an artist to just shed some light on other artists and to throw them some love, especially
Absolutely.
during weird, hard times. And so, yeah, it's definitely been a nice, like, regular thing. It's every other Sunday. And to get to just have that as a routine now, it's cool. I like it.
Yeah. And one of the things, just getting to meet other artists is so much of being a musician is networking and going to jam sessions and going to open mics. And without them being around right now, it's very odd because you're used to meeting new people every week. That's
Yeah.
just life as an artist. And now we kind of have to seek them out a bit.
Yeah, totally. I want to do more collaborating, like, because some people have reached out online, like through Instagram, even just, oh, do you want to sing on this thing? And I love that. And I think it's crucial, especially now, since, I mean, it's not the same. It's way more fun to meet somebody out at a bar, at an open mic, or wherever you are playing and connect. But I'll take what I can get right now. So,
Yeah. I've been doing a bunch of collaboration videos with other people who've reached out to me. I just did one. He's a guitarist and uke player in Spain. And I did upright bass and he played uke and we did So What, the Miles Davis tune.
wow.
And afterwards, that was really cool, but it would have been like 50 times better if we could have been in the same room playing that together.
Yeah.
You just lose that visceral connection that you get with another artist when you're doing it
Yeah.
across the internet as opposed to just sitting next to someone. It's a
Absolutely.
shame.
Yeah,
But we'll
that's
get
great
back
you've
there.
been doing. I love all the stuff you've been doing, and the fact that you host this is amazing. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and this is great. And I mean, this kind of started as a selfish pursuit for me because I was like, I can just reach out to whoever I want, and maybe they'll say yes to doing this, and that's kind of a wonderful feeling. So I've used that to get to meet so many other people and and pick other musicians' brains,
Yeah.
which I would be doing at festivals and like flying around and doing this normally. But here I am online, and I'm really enjoying this a lot. And actually, the funny thing is, we only met about a year ago in
Mm-hmm.
person finally, and people kept telling me about Emily Drinker, and I knew the name, I knew who she was, but we had never run across each other. And then it was the Philly Open Stage competition. I was
Oh,
singing
yeah.
backup DJ, which is hilarious in and of itself that I'm singing backup vocals because it's not a thing that I do. Not a vocalist, very much a hardcore instrumentalist, although I sing.
You say
Um,
you're a
I,
vocalist.
I no, I do sing. I love, but like
Right.
I'm a,
It's not your
I'm an
main
instrumental
thing.
through. Yeah, especially backup vocals. But if you're gonna put me next to Calvin Cochran and let me scream into a microphone, I'm absolutely going to say yes to
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Any,
I
and
remember
yeah,
that.
and actually,
It's the same deal. I knew who you were just through the grapevine because it's not too big of a city. And the same thing, I saw you at that event and I was like, oh, wait, he's a backup singer?
yeah, and that was my first backup singing gig, and it went fairly well, I
Mhm.
think. But then directly after that, thanks to Jim Menashe, we did the "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" tribute show, which is one of my favorite things in the entire year that happens in Philadelphia. So for anyone that doesn't live in Philadelphia, the oldest church in this city, the sextons, the caretakers of that church, put on a show each year that is all of the music and a semi-live reenactment of the Coen Brothers film "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," which just happens to be my favorite movie. So I've gotten to participate in that, and they brought Emily in to do "I'll Fly Away," the Alison Krauss part, and I ended up getting to sit in and take the solo and play second uke on that song, which was an absolute bliss. But we met, a month before that, 2 months before that, and that says something for this music scene. But that's just normal life for musicians, I think. Is, hey, how you doing? Oh, you play an instrument? You want to do that together? Cool, let's have fun.
Yeah.
and I think that's what I miss the most about not being out in the world right now, is getting to meet everyone, and the collaborations are huge.
Yeah.
So with that depressing point, would you mind playing us another tune?
Yes, I would love to. So here's a song that I grew up with that I just love. This is such a classic tune. I'm going to play Till There Was You. There were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all till there was you. And there was music, and there were wonderful roses. They tell me in sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all till there was you.
So one thing you have managed to do during the pandemic that I wish I had done is release a new single. In fact, you've released a couple of new singles since the world's shut down. But "Enough Is Enough" is certainly the one that's gotten some good airplay. It's a lovely tune. But you're also about to release a new record in the first part of 2020 that you've been sitting on for a little bit. And I'm curious, you've had it recorded for a little bit now, right?
Yes.
So this is a full band record. This is not just you and your uke, and the looper as well. For those of you who have never seen Emily's work, she does looping even with a full band, which is a courageous endeavor to say the
Try
least.
to.
But
With
you
varying
also have
results.
you also have an amazing drummer, which helps a lot.
Yeah,
That's
spoiled.
you, Josh. But this is a full band record, right? This is not just you.
Yeah, this is
Where do you guys track that?
We did it at just outside of Philadelphia at a place called Kawari Sound. I'm
Of
sure
course,
you
great
know all about
studio. Yeah.
Kawari. But for people who aren't from the area, it's this great kind of local studio. It's like a house, and it just has such a nice live room where you can all be together and track the
Yeah.
songs that way, which I prefer to do because when I go into the studio, I haven't done it a ton, but when I have, I like to do it like that as a band where if I'm doing a full band project, I don't want to
Yeah.
be putting all the pieces together separately. Like I want the band to be well rehearsed and ready to really make it sound special and as live as possible. I mean, I overdub harmonies, of course, and other things.
Yeah.
I think I had to redo some ukulele parts that just like needed a little more power, but yeah, so that's how we did it.
No, and I love that you're tracking everything live because your music is much more pop oriented and like indie rock than what I do, and so many people would do the piecemeal approach and lay down drums and bass and guitar and layer it and layer it. But there's something you honestly can't capture without all the musicians in the room, and you have to have great musicians to make that work as well. Which your band is amazing, which is
Thank
a
you.
blessing that many people don't have, and
Yeah,
hence they need all tracking.
take that for granted because I work with a really awesomely talented group of guys, and they're also my best friends. So I'm sort of just like so spoiled, and that's just because we worked together for so long. Like we used to do a like corporate cruise ship gig years ago, and so that's how we became really close. Because when you live on a ship with people and you play every night for like 3 hours, well, you're either gonna love them or hate them. And luckily, we got along really well. We didn't really fight. I mean, there were a
Thank
couple
God.
times where I had to be like the boss lady and like stop drinking. We have to play in an hour and whatever. Um, but you know, luckily, and we all are from the area, so we've been able to just keep working together, and we're just tight because of that experience, I think. Um, but yeah, and then I kept a lot of my vocal like takes from the live, like from just that first day. I didn't even really have to overdub some of my lead vocal
Yeah.
tracks, which was surprising and nice when that happens because I thought, okay, we'll track it all and I'll do like a scratch vocal, but I'll have to
It's
redo
always
it
a
later.
new strat. Yeah.
But it was great. Like we listened back and I was like, well, I don't really have to redo this. I'm happy with it. I'll just add harmonies. So it was really a great experience. But that was over a year ago. That was like April 2019 that we tracked this
Oh,
album.
wow.
And but mostly it's taken so long because I'm just the kind of person to be a perfectionist or mostly just insecure about like how do I roll this out in the best way and just
Sure. The biggest thing
overthinking
that I
it.
think a lot of people don't that don't create records don't think about, it's not at all just walking in a studio and here's your master disc, we're done. That's 10% of what it takes. I mean, because you have all the pre-production work first of it, and not to mention the songwriting
Writing
itself.
is not right. Yeah.
I mean, there can be a year of your life. Pre-production can be another couple months. Rehearse the band, especially if you're going to cut it live. I mean, everyone needs to know the tunes like the back of their hand, or it just doesn't work. But then when you walk out of the studio, especially today as an indie artist, the promotion aspect of it, and as you say, how to properly roll it out right now is a hard thing, especially in such a noisy world as far as
Oh my
music.
God. Yeah.
There are new albums dropping every day, and how do you think that you can get it out there and make it something special that people want to get, which I think with your last single you did. I mean, you
Thanks.
have a lot of plays on Spotify, which equates probably to about $10 because Spotify. But
Yeah. Like, I
um,
don't think I'll break even for the cost I put into making
yeah,
it for a while, but in terms of, like, what looks good, yeah, I was fortunate. Definitely, like, pushed it as hard as I could. It's tough, though. It's such a weird game because there's so much emphasis on, like, numbers and then
yeah,
is that meaningful? Are those real people that I am gonna connect with beyond that single? Are they gonna come back? Are they gonna seek out other material that I share? And at the end of the day, like that's cool to have a lot of streams, but I would much rather have like just a solid core group of folks who are actually like there. So I've been trying to learn
uh,
about that and figure it out and algorithms and all this stuff that is really not
which
what
are changing every day. The
right.
social algorithms
Yeah,
are the bane of my yes.
I know.
Uh,
So just trying to keep up with all that stuff as like an indie artist is a challenge, but yeah, it was really fun with that song because I did a lot. I had some press. I actually got some help. I hired a press person, like a PR person to help me with like playlisting because I
yeah,
had no idea about that. And but then I did all the local stuff myself and I've been like kind of building up my own local press list. And it was nice. It was very gratifying because people really liked it, and I cared more about, at the end of the day, the local scene appreciating it and giving it some love. So yeah.
Absolutely. And and I mean, the scene in Philadelphia is definitely its own special, unique thing.
Mhm.
No doubt about it. And when a good record comes out, everyone knows. That's the reality. It doesn't matter what kind of music you play. If there's a good record out there, like everyone knows about it.
Yeah.
And you want to be that recording when it comes out. That you're kind of the talk of the little city
Yeah, it's
of
fun. It can be
Philadelphia.
fun when that happens.
Yeah, and it does. Do you have any more gigs coming up this year besides your concert series? Do you have or have you been playing any live dates?
I was doing a lot this summer, which was great, and like into warmer months. It's getting cold. It's getting real
Yep.
cold. So it's been tough. I actually just booked an outdoor gig at a farm that's like a couple hour long thing, kind of covers and originals sort of thing. So I do a lot of that. I do a lot of restaurant and farm and any kind of place where I can make some money, and that means I do a combination of like my music and covers. But this place, that gig is supposed to be next in a couple weeks, and I don't know. It might be too cold. It's really hard to play any string, any
Yeah.
instrument, but like playing guitar, or ukulele when your fingers are
Yeah.
frigid.
I mean,
So
I have 60-degree cutoff. That like 55 is the
see,
absolute coldest because your fingers just stop working and it's
yeah,
painful. It's
yeah,
yeah. And I don't care how much you pay me, it's just not enjoyable to be out
yeah.
in the cold
This gig,
doing
they were
that.
like, bundle up, make sure that you're prepared for the weather, and wear layers. I'm like, that's not gonna do it.
Like my fingers have to move.
Fingers
That's
have
a
to
thing
move. I
that
can't wear
has to
gloves.
happen.
So we'll see. But I have done some really cool stuff. I even did a couple indoor things lately that were very like socially distanced and safe. Place called Sellersville Theater.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure you know, but I'm just saying for your.
Yeah. Well, they live streamed that too, right?
They
'Cause
do really awesome live streams with multiple cameras, and they get a nice
yeah.
group of people watching. So kind of stuff like that. And Every Cent Concerts has moved indoors. We're not sure how it'll go though, because everything is blowing up right now with the virus. So we'll see. We
Yeah,
might
and
go back.
actually, Philly just announced new restrictions starting this week. There's no
Did
more
they
indoor dining.
officially? I've been like waiting to hear the latest.
They just rolled it out a couple hours ago. Yeah. So I'm looking at my calendar. I'm like, I guess there are no gigs now again.
No. But
Back
time to
to
like try to write more stuff, get back to youth
that's
stuff,
how I'm
honestly.
feeling. Like, I mean, as you were saying about the PR for the record, as an indie artist, there is always something to do, regardless of if you have any gigs on the books. You are busy with
Yeah,
trying to deal with the mess of managing your
yeah.
career, and that's the fun, right? Of doing this whole thing. That's why we do it, is for the fun management part.
Oh, because I love sending out emails. Yeah, that's why I do it. I love mailing lists. I love looking at the how much money my streams have made, which, like you said, was like $10, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Ah." No, no, it is. I try to have a good attitude because we are, at the end of the day, we get to play music for a living and share.
That's what I tell myself, is like, regardless of all this stuff I don't want to do, I get to sit here and play ukulele all day.
Yeah, it's not so
That's
bad.
better than any other alternative that I can think of.
Yeah.
So
We just have to
I'm
keep
never gonna
going, we have to persevere. Because lately I have been thinking like, do I want to go to graduate school? What am I doing? Everything is a lot of like our beloved venue, like smaller venues in Philly, like Boot and Saddle just announced they're closing, and
that
yeah,
one hit me. I love that place. That
yeah,
was
that
one of my favorites in this
same.
city. And I mean, I'm glad they're able to save Union Transfer for the time being, which is their sister venue that's much larger. But yeah, Boone Saddle was one of the first gigs that I had with my full trio back in the
Mm.
years ago was Boot and Saddle. So it's a special place in my heart.
Yeah, yeah, it was a special place. So just kind of trying to stay hopeful and remember like there are so many things I want to share, and just you're kind of someone I look up to a lot because you really do have an amazing online presence where you're able to have your fans there and connect with them in those ways. And we'll get back to our in-person stuff one day, but just
We will.
kind of look forward to the winter in sort of like, all right, here I am. Let me get my lights out. Let me get set up and
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, I figure I'm just not going to leave my apartment for about 2 months. In come December,
Yeah,
I'm done. I'm going
either.
to sit here. I'm putting that as my time for the new record is recording in December, just because I was planning on doing it at a studio, but it's just not um, feasible these days.
You do
So
it at home.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna, yeah, bring the boys over, and I have enough of a setup here, and
perfect.
that we can make it work.
Cheaper
But
too.
it's, yeah, much cheaper. Uh, yeah, that's the thing about studios, isn't it? You get this wonderful product, but unfortunately, they want you to pay for it. And then Spotify streams. Back to that.
Yeah. No, it's amazing that you can do it at home, and it's obviously so much more work for you to be kind of thinking about all these other elements when you really just want to focus on the music itself. But in a way, it is great to sharpen all these other tools that we have, like
Absolutely,
just
and
looking
you
at it
start
that
to understand the other things that go into music. I mean, mic placement and gain staging and all of that is, I think, something that all musicians should know anyway. I mean, when singing and being able to work a mic is a talent in and of itself, that you can really hone in a studio. That's a lot tougher to get behind in a live setting when you're just faced with
right.
it at the moment. Start realizing proximity effect and things like that. It's
Yeah.
eye opening.
I want to
So.
learn all that. I feel like we have the more time now to sort of empower ourselves with things that we used to think, oh, well, the sound guy will do that. It's like we have to,
Exactly.
we're indie, like we have to do everything ourselves. And it doesn't have to be a bad
Yeah,
thing. It is hard. It is really like, it's a lot of work, but we got to do it.
it's fun. I mean,
Fun.
I've become a video editor this year. That's
Same.
90% of what I do these days is edit videos, which is something that I still despise to this day. But absolutely something I never thought I would have to do in my life was to do that kind of work. But it allows
You
me to
learn.
keep doing
Yeah.
what I do, and that's all that matters to me in the end. As
I
you
feel the
said,
same way.
persevere.
I've edited a few videos and I definitely do not enjoy that experience, but it's cool to like learn a new thing and yeah.
Yeah. With that, would you mind playing us one final tune?
Yes, sure. All right, so I'm going to play one more original tune. This song is on the upcoming album that I've been working hard on. That should be out sometime early next year in 2021. But this song will be with my full band. But here's a little solo uke version. This is called Guilty. I don't know what you want me to say, but I know that you want me anyway. I let you down, it's clear to see. Thanks for being patient with me. You're an anomaly to me. You play cool as if to seem as casual as I'm being. I'm avoiding communicating. I'm feeling guilty and uneasy. Don't like feeling guilty. Please rescue me. I am not ready to say goodbye. It's not as easy as it seems. I like the changes you've made in your life, but I'm still making up my mind. Finally some clarity. I was honest with you and now you see what's going on internally. Let me put you at ease. I know that we can turn back time, and I don't want that. We're doing just fine, day by day, one step at a time. No need to rewind. I'm feeling guilty and uneasy. Don't like feeling guilty, please. Please rescue me.
Emily, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me from all the way across Philadelphia.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a blast.
You're welcome. I hope to see you soon in real life. And would you mind just playing us a little bit of exit music?
Yeah, I already started. I'm raring to go. Have a great day.